Have you ever been in the middle of an argument with your partner and thought, how did we get here? Or maybe it's not even arguments anymore. Maybe it's just silence. You and your partner don't fight, but you don't laugh like you used to either. In fact, you barely talk. You feel more like flatmates than a couple. It's sad, but it happens all the time. And if this hits close to home, don't worry. Keep listening. Because most relationships don't fall apart in one big, dramatic moment. They erode, quietly, slowly. And because of a few patterns that on the surface may not even seem like a big deal. But over time, they chip away at trust, at connection, at love. So today, I want to walk you through the 4 behaviors that, according to research, are the biggest predictors of divorce. And more importantly, I'll show you how to stop them before they do any more damage. Hi there, I'm Alastair Duhs, and you're listening to the Anger Secrets Podcast, episode 137. If you're new here, welcome. And if you've been tuning in for a while, I'm really glad you're back. For over 30 years now, I've helped more than 15,000 people learn how to control their anger, master their emotions, and build relationships that actually feel good again. And if you want a bit of extra help with that, just head over to angersecrets.com. There's a free training there, and you can also book a free 30-minute anger assessment call with me if you'd like to chat. With that said, let's dive into today's episode. The 4 behaviors that end marriages. To begin, it's important to understand that the behaviors we're talking about were identified by Dr. John Gottman, one of the top relationship researchers in the world. He calls them the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. And once they show up in a relationship, things can unravel fast if they're not addressed. Let's walk through each one. Horseman number 1 is criticism. This is where it often starts. Not with yelling or screaming, but with those little jabs that sound like feedback, but land like an attack. Criticism sounds like, "You never help with anything around the house," or "You're always so selfish." These types of statements attack a person's character and makes the other person feel defensive, causing tension and resentment in the relationship. Not surprisingly, criticism doesn't get you what you need and only builds resentment. Horseman number 2 is contempt. This one is particularly brutal. Contempt is when things cross the line into sarcasm, mockery, eye rolls, even disgust. Contempt says, "You're beneath me." It sounds like, "I can't believe you're still this clueless." Or that sigh, that scoff, that condescending smirk. But here's the thing. Contempt is the number 1 predictor of divorce. Because once contempt shows up, emotional safety disappears. Horseman number 3 is defensiveness. Now, this one's sneaky. You feel attacked, so you defend yourself. Makes sense, right? But the problem is, defensiveness shifts blame. Defensiveness sounds like, "Well, I only acted that way because you were being unreasonable." Or, "It's not my fault. If you just told me what you wanted, I'd have done it." Defensiveness feels like protecting yourself, but it blocks accountability. And when no one's taking responsibility, nothing gets solved. Finally, horseman number 4 is stonewalling. Stonewalling is when you shut down. You stop responding. You walk out. You go cold. Now, maybe you do it to avoid a fight. Maybe you're overwhelmed and trying to keep the peace. But to your partner, it feels like abandonment. like they're reaching out in the middle of a storm, and you've just turned your back. So stonewalling doesn't stop conflict. It creates distance. Now, if you've noticed any of these behaviors in your relationship, don't panic. You're not broken. Your relationship isn't doomed. These patterns are common, and the good news is, each one has an antidote. Let's go through them. The antidote to criticism is gentle startup. If you feel the urge to criticize your partner, drop the blame and reframe your concerns in a way that focuses on your feelings and needs. So, instead of attacking who your partner is, express what's going on for you. For example, instead of saying, "You never help with anything around the house," say, "I feel overwhelmed with all the household responsibilities. Can we discuss how we can divide them more evenly?" This avoids attacking your partner and opens a door to finding a solution together. The antidote to contempt is to build a culture of appreciation. Contempt involves showing disrespect and superiority towards your partner. To counteract this toxic behavior, show appreciation for your partner regularly. This means acknowledging their efforts, expressing gratitude for their positive traits, and recognizing their contributions in the relationship. Do this by saying thank you. Notice the small stuff. Point out what they're doing right, even when you're frustrated. Contempt can't survive in a space full of gratitude. Next, the antidote to defensiveness is taking responsibility for your actions. Instead of constantly shifting the blame onto your partner, take ownership of your mistakes and work towards finding a solution together. Practice saying, "You're right, I didn't follow through. I can see how that upset you." Or, "I'm sorry, I didn't communicate clearly. Let's try to find a better way to approach this next time." This shows your partner that you value their feelings and are willing to work together towards a resolution. Finally, the antidote to stonewalling is to learn to self-soothe. This means taking a break from the conversation when things become too heated or overwhelming. During this break, take some time to calm down and reflect on your own feelings and thoughts. This can include taking deep breaths, going for a walk, or engaging in a calming activity like meditation or yoga. Once you feel calmer and more centered, you can return to the conversation with a clearer mindset and better ability to communicate effectively. By practicing these skills, you can create a healthier and stronger relationship, built on effective communication, mutual understanding, and respect. And remember, relationships don't fall apart because people stop loving each other. They often fall apart because of how that love gets expressed when things get hard. But if you can spot these patterns and interrupt them, you can change the entire direction of your relationship. You can build something that's not just calmer, but closer. Something that feels safe again, loving again, and real again. Okay, that's it for today's episode. The 4 behaviors that end marriages. If this was helpful for you, hit that follow button and maybe leave a quick review. It helps others find the podcast, and it might be the exact nudge someone else needs right now. And remember, if you want free training or a chance to chat one-on-one with me, just head over to angersecrets.com. There's a free call you can book. No pressure, just a genuine conversation. And if you're ready to get serious about changing how you show up in your relationship, take a look at the complete anger management system at angersecrets.com/course. I'd love to help. One final thought before I go. You can't control what your partner says, or does, or feels. But you can control you, your tone, your choices, and your responses. And that's where your real power lives. Take care, and I'll talk to you soon.
The Anger Secrets podcast is for general informational purposes only, and does not constitute the practice of counseling, psychotherapy, or any other professional health service. No therapeutic relationship is implied or created by this podcast. If you have mental health concerns of any type, please seek out the help of a local mental health professional.